Hello all my otaku friends, my name is Profitaku and welcome back to my channel. So you know how everybody got their Rightstuf birthday haul last month? Well, basically Rightstuf decided to send the fleet and not only send me my birthday haul at the beginning of the month, but they also decided to pick apart all the partial orders and ship all my pre-orders for the last 2 months. And after the spiraling of out of control craziness tsunami, we are here with this crazy haul. We've got a lot of different stuff to go through today, so sit back, relax, and enjoy. And before we get started today, as always, you guys know the drill. If you enjoy the content of my video, please consider subscribing to the channel. Check out my social media links down below, specifically my anime list. If you want to see what I'm reading and watching daily, that's a great way to see what's going on. So send me your friend request. So this first stack here are all things I'm not going to talk about too extensively in this video, but are just things that publishers sent me by the good graces of their heart to use for review purposes on my Should You Read Sunday video series. So first up, we have a light novel series, The Magical Revolution, Reincarnated Princess and the Genius Young Lady. I really want to get back into isekai, specifically light novels, so I did ask Rightstuf to pick something out for me. From Nozami Entertainment, which is a subsidy of Rightstuf Anime, we have Rental Magica. This is a brand new Blu-ray release of an older series that hasn't seen the light of day for an English publication, so super excited to have this. And also from Kaiten Books, they graciously sent me their entire catalog of manga. I have Yakuza's Guide to Babysitting Volume 3, as well as all of their Volume 1, so this will be part of the next Should You Read Sunday video as I go through and review everything. And quickly showing you guys what they have in their catalog, we have Loner Life in Another World Volume 1, Uzumade Our Maid is Too Annoying, My Dad's the Queen of All VTubers, Gacha Girls Core, Welcome to the Outcast Restaurant, and Shed That Skin Ryugisaki-san. Okay, this next section is all used manga that I picked up this month. This first set of manga is from Canada, actually. So we have Uku. We have Volume 1 here, Saran Wrap, perfectly brand new, and Volume 2. So Tony Reads Manga put me onto this series, and it's really quite interesting. It's a society where women are the dominant gender, and there are very few men, and there's basically a reproduction issue. So it's just this world where women are held in this high regard, and men are held as more like possessions, where they are used for breeding the next generation. This is a pretty long series at 19 volumes, but I definitely want to give the first 2 volumes a try before I go ahead and commit some money to this. Next up is a manga series that I did not know I was going to pick up. This is why I bought the package in the first place, but I'm just so glad I got it because I've only heard good things and I've been recommended multiple times, and that is Cross Game Volumes 1 to 7, 1 to 3 in these omnibuses. So this is a Shonen Sunday series about baseball, believe it or not. And baseball is really popular in Japan. And so when I heard about this series, it's just not a sports series that I see a lot of people talking about because it's an older series and it's just not on the radar compared to your Shonen Jump series like Slam Dunk and Haikyuu. So the real question now that I have the first 3 omnibuses is where the hell am I going to find the last 5? Let me know if you have any copies for sale. All right, and last up for the used manga is a full complete set of Yakitate, because I was corrected on my pronunciation from my last video, but Yakitate Japan Volumes 1 to 26 about competitive bread baking. I highly recommend you check out my unboxing video that I just did because the way this was sent to me, oh my god. But for those of you who want just a quick synopsis of it, it's basically like Food Wars, but without all the sexy stuff. So if that sounds up your alley, give this one a try. So the rest of this stuff is either from Books A Million or Rightstuf. Majorities from Rightstuf. We're gonna first start with all of the completed series that I picked up, and let's start with this one. We have Reborn as a Vending Machine, Now I Wonder the Dungeon, Volumes 1 to 3. So for those of you who don't know this series, this is the light novel series that just got the anime adaptation announced, and everybody's like, why the hell are we getting an anime about a vending machine? So of course, with my innate curiosity, I went on Rightstuf and they had just restocked this, so I snagged it up, and I am obviously currently reading this right now. Expect this on a Should You Read Sunday video. Next up here, we have a 6-volume hardcover series from Viz, and that is Sunny by Taiyo Matsumoto, volumes 1 to 6. So for those of you who don't know what this series is about, this follows a group of orphans that live in a home together as they go through life in a really depressing manner, honestly, and it all revolves around this car, Sunny, and this car sits in their yard, and that's kind of the kids' hangout. So it's a very interesting series. I was very much into Taiyo Matsumoto after last month's reading log, so I decided to pick this one up. Okay, continuing on with the complete sets, we have Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid, volumes 1 to 12. This is almost complete. We're missing volumes 6 and 8 here. But for those of you who don't know, I've been really getting into this mangaka's works. I just read The Undead Deities, No Only Peace, as well as Ojojojo. So I wanted to pick up their Pinnacle series, and just my luck, all the stars aligned, and this manga was on the summer sale. So thank goodness for that. I was able to get this for a great price. I can't wait to check it out. Next up is a really interesting series where the anime is highly acclaimed, but just not on a lot of people's radar, and that's Welcome to the NHK volumes 1 to 8 complete. Now, I'd had my eyes on this series for a while. I never pulled the trigger. I saw it on the summer sale. I picked it up, and just my luck, when I did pick it up, it actually went out of print. So I don't know if they just found extra copies or if Tokyo Pop just did one final print run, but this is it. So this is pretty hard to find, but for those of you who don't know what this series is about, it's a really weird rom-com about a guy who's basically a NEET and this girl who's got her own set of problems, and the boy and his roommate are developing a special type of game, if you know what I mean. But this is raunchy, silly, and crazy, so if you are interested in the series, I wish you luck in piecing this thing together. And up next here is a complete set, volumes 1 to 13 of Monthly Girls Nozaki-kun. This is a series that's on my 2022 wishlist. I've wanted this for so long. I've only heard good things, specifically from Sukino. She said, "Prof, you have to check this series out," and I trust her opinions a lot because her and my kind of interests align really well. And so when she tells me to pick something up, I'm definitely putting it on my radar. It's a rom-com slice of life series about this guy who writes shoujo manga, but in his own romantic life he's just basically striking out, but he's also kind of a dud, so he just can't pick up on these like little innuendos, and then you've got all these girls that are interested in him. So yeah, it just seems super funny. I cannot wait to get started with this one. And continuing on with the Suki Notes recommendations, we have Aka 13. This is a 6-volume series by Natsume Ono, and this is super interesting. It's basically set in a world with different districts. There's a coup d'etat happening, but it follows this guy as he patrols the different districts, and it goes into the different cultures that are going on and also the political unrest as well. So this is a slice of life series with a little bit of drama tension in here. Sounds right up my alley, and I've really wanted to check out Natsume Ono, so I am super excited about this. I did not pick up the sequel series or like the side series yet. I just want to try this out first and see if I like it. Next up here are the last 4 volumes of My Boy. So this is volumes 6 to 9, so that puts me complete. And for those of you who don't know what this series is about, it's basically a drama series about a young boy and an older woman, and they foster this friendship, this relationship, but it's not one of those weird age gap relationships. It's more of a maternal son relationship. They both have something that they desire, and they use each other to help bolster themselves up. I heard it's a beautiful, heartwarming tale, but really drama filled, so this is something that I just cannot wait to get into. Moving on to the big boy here, and I am not putting all 7 volumes up on this table because the table will probably break. And that is Knights of Sidonia in these beautiful, wow, this is upside down, I'm just embarrassed. Knights of Sidonia volume 1, so it's a 7-volume series put out by Vertical in these beautiful master editions. I have never read anything by this mangaka, and so I really want to get back into sci-fi manga manga, and I heard that this is a staple in the sci-fi genre, so I'm super excited about this. I heard that this mangaka's artwork is phenomenal, and this is a very fast-paced series, so I just can't wait. We got 2 more completed series here that I picked up. First one is Tokyo Tarareba Girls, and this is volumes 1 to 9 by Kodansha, and this is by the same mangaka who did My Blank Canvas as well as Princess Jellyfish. So my goal was to pick up all of this mangaka's works because I read Blank Canvas, and Blank Canvas is a top 10 series for me. Seriously, it blew my mind. It's in contention for #1 read manga of 2022. I highly recommend you check out this mangaka's works. I'm loving Princess Jellyfish currently, so this is the last series that I need to complete my English collection, so I am super excited to check this one out. Okay, and last up here for the completed series from Rightstuf, we have Tokyo Ghoul volumes 1 to 14, and you guys are probably like, well, look, Prof, you already have Tokyo Ghoul. You have those big-ass monster editions from Barnes & Noble. And I was thinking about it. This went on the sale, and I was like, well, let me go ahead and just reinvest back into my collection. I sold those monster editions off for a really nice profit, and between that and selling off some other out-of-print manga, specifically my big GTO side stories collection, I was able to pay for the majority of this haul from the profits, which was really nice. But of course, everybody knows Tokyo Ghoul. I've already read this before. I read it last October for a spooky Halloween season, and what I can tell you is that the manga is way better than the anime, and so I highly recommend that everybody pick up this series if you don't already have it on your shelf. Alright, so now we're going to move on to the single volume pickups. These are not organized by publisher, they're just all kind of mixed together in here, so bear with me. First up here is Full Metal Alchemist volume 18. This finishes the set for me, and I just love Arakawa stuff. I love the Brotherhood anime, so I'm glad to finally have all the hardcovers here and give this series another try in its original format. Next up is a beautiful release back in 2009 by Viz, and that is Go-Go Monster by Taiyo Matsumoto. This was a used manga in the last unboxing that I did, so check that video out if you'd like. But I know nothing of Go-Go Monster, but you guys know I love Taiyo Matsumoto. I got this for a phenomenal price, so I'm really glad to have this. Here we are with a brand new series. This is Rooster Fighter. You've got a rooster that's fighting monsters. That's basically all I know. I'm just going into this really cold turkey, which is ironic because, I mean, it's just been all over everything. So I cannot wait to check this one out. The artwork looks really good. So I'm glad we got these in these nice signature editions. And you know what? This seems like it's going to be one for the ages. Next up is Dragon Quest: The Adventures of Dai Volume 3. Check out my review of the series, or my first impressions for the Should You Read Sunday series. This is a really interesting series. It's not going to blow you out of the water, but if you want to turn your brain off, really fun, young, kiddish shonen jump series, this is going to be one for you. Plugging along here, we have To Your Eternity Volume 17. This puts me up to date with To Your Eternity, and this is about to finish this new arc that we've been into, and a lot of people have problems with the new arc. I do too. I see the issues with it, but To Your Eternity is still a beautiful work by the same creator as Silent Voice, and I highly recommend you check it out. I think that this has a little bit of everything for everyone. Next up is Blue Period Volume 8. I finished Volume 7, and I'm not sure if I'm gonna like this new arc. I thought that the exam arc was absolutely beautifully written. This was Volume 7 took a little bit of a weird direction with him being in school, so we're gonna see how this turns out. Next up are 2 volumes. Thank goodness I can just kind of binge it back to back, but it's a 5-volume series, so we have volumes 2 and 3 of Island in a Puddle by Kei Sanbei, and this is by the same creator as Erase. This is a body swap psychological thriller manga about this boy who body swaps with this murderer kind of bad guy, and so then they go into all these crazy hijinks. It's really cool. I enjoyed the first volume, so if you like Erased, I recommend you check this out. Next up is a dark fantasy series. This is Ragna Crimson Volume 6 by Square Enix, and these really thick volumes, which is great, so you're getting a lot of bang for your buck here. Ragna Crimson is great. It's got dragons, it's got dark fantasy, it's got magic, it's got a really cool world, and really great characters, so I'm really enjoying Ragna Crimson, and everybody's been talking about it on MangaTube. I'm glad more people are picking this thing up, so it definitely gets a stamp of approval from me, and I'm not a big dark fantasy guy. Speaking of manga everybody won't shut up about, we have Kowloon Generic Romance Volume 1. This is by the same mangaka who did After the Rain, which I never checked out, but everybody's just talking about this, so I kind of bit the bullet and just bought it. And so I don't know anything about this. I heard there's a twist at the end of Volume 1. I kind of just flipped through it, and I really like the artwork, but I think there's some romance elements in here. There's some dramatic thriller elements, so yeah, I think that this one is going to be one that I'm going to like. Okay, up next is Furry Girl, Volume 19 of Beastars. No, I have not read Beastars. I'm just going to wait till Volume 22 and then binge the whole thing. Now, here's a series that's almost done. We have Dead Demons Destruction. There you go, Weeb family. You're welcome. So this is Volume 11. It's a 12-volume series, and Dead Demons has been easily my favorite Asano work so far that I've read of his. I have not read Goodnight Poon Poon, but honestly, this is such a palatable Inio Asano work because it's got like very shonen-y type vibes in terms of just, it's a little bit more easy to digest, and there's slice of life elements, but then there's also really deep undertones of racism, immigration, human rights. So it's really great. I love this manga series, and the artwork is phenomenal, so I highly recommend this series. Next up is probably my favorite ongoing rom-com series, and that is My Dress Up Darling Volume 6. This volume goes after the anime, so we're getting brand new material here, and this is just a really cute series. I think my favorite part of the series is all the different cosplay aspects to it. I just think that this is, wow, that was a bad page to flip to. Those are fake, by the way, YouTube, so don't demonetize me. But I am very much enjoying Dress Up Darling. I think that the main characters are fantastic, and they really are what drive this series to be one of the top echelons of rom-coms for me. And here we are with A Man and His Cat Volume 6. Do not let the cover fool you. You've got cats, so a lot of people are like, nah, I'm not gonna read it because it's about cats, and I don't like cats, and I don't like animals. But this is like just so crazy. There's so much drama, and the main character himself, this man right here, I think his name is Mr. Kanda. He is such a deep character with such a great personality, and the problems that he has to work through and how the cat really helps him. It's a beautiful, heartwarming tale. So even if you don't have a cat, I highly recommend checking this series out. Alright, continuing on here, we have Yu Yu Hakusho Volume 1. Highly recommend you check out my shopping vlog video that I just did on Rightstuf, because I talk about how I picked up this volume specifically, the kind of the tips and tricks. I basically placed an order of this series, the whole thing in completion, back in April, and then they just partially shipped me Volume 1. This is getting a reprint, so I highly recommend getting in the queue now so that you can get your volumes as they get released. But yes, Yu Yu Hakusho by the same creator as Hunter x Hunter. I've been wanting to get this series, and I'm glad I didn't pay the scalper prices. I will patiently wait for this to get reprinted over the next couple years. Up next, we have Shaman King Omnibus 10, so we're at 28, 29, and 30. We only have 2 more volumes of this, and then we're done. And Kodansha also just announced that they're releasing the sequel series in manga format, which is fantastic, super exciting. I'm actually now 2 omnibuses behind, so I do need to catch up on this series, but this is a great turn your brain off Shonen Jump manga. It's not going to blow your mind, but I really do enjoy this. Next up is Mao Volume 6 by Rumiko Takahashi, her newest serializing work. I don't know anything about this. The only thing I've heard is that this is a very kind of direct comparison to Inuyasha with the fantasy type aspect, so I will eventually read this. There's some other Rumiko Takahashi stuff I want to read first, but then eventually I will get to this. For now, I'm just picking them up. Speaking of reprints, we also have a reprint happening of Yona of the Dawn. So I got volumes 1 to 3. Eventually, I'll hopefully pick up 4. I have only heard good things about Yona of the Dawn. It's coined shougenjo. It's just a little bit of a mix of everything. You've got politics, you've got battle, you've got action, you have romance. So I am super excited to get into this and get the first 3 volumes, so at least give this one a good try. Last here in this stack is Hinamatsuri volumes 13 13 to 16, so this puts me up to date with the series. I had bought volumes 1 to 12 used off of Facebook, and what I can say about Hinamatsuri, it's a comedy series. You've got aliens, you have Yakuza. Sounds right up my alley. I haven't checked this one out yet, but from the manga tubers that I've heard talk about this is a series that they just won't shut up about, so I am very confident that I'm gonna like this series. Moving on here into my 7 Seas stack of brand new releases, we have Box of Light Volume 1. This is basically about a convenience store on like the edge of the world, so like the living world and then the underworld or the death world or whatever. And so I don't know anything about this series. Honestly, when I saw this on Rightstuf, I'm like, oh, that's a cool cover. Goodbye. Next up is a Yuri series, Hello Melancholic Volume 2. This is a 3-volume series about girls who are in band club playing music together. This ain't anything super special, but it's something that I enjoy. I enjoyed volume 1, so let's see how this one goes. Okay, here we are with a manga I know nothing about. This is called Dungeon People. I think it's a manga where they make dungeons or something like that, and there's some video game aspect to it. Honestly, I just don't know. This is one of those, 7 Seas is like Russian roulette, okay? You see a series with 7 Seas and it's either like super highly acclaimed and it's like either really good or it's just absolutely isekai trash or something like that. So this is one that I'm risking the biscuit on, so I hope it's good. Now next up is a 7 Seas series that I know is good, and that is Skip and Loafer Volume 5. I really enjoy this series. It's more slice of life than romance, but it's a country bumpkin girl who goes to Tokyo to start her high school career, and it's just the shenanigans she gets to moving from the countryside. Then you've got the main character, male here, who's got a really dark past, who's trying to kind of rebuild himself. It's really interesting. I love the artwork. There's an anime announcement for this, so that's super exciting, so highly recommend this series. Here we are with the series that's gotten a lot of acclaim from this first volume, and that is, how do you say this, Kimono Jihen Volume 1. So this is a fantasy series, but it's also got like some mystery spyish stuff going on. So the cover looks super sick, and you've got really fun action as well. The artwork looks really nice, and like I said, a lot of people have been talking about this, saying that this is a really good series. So you know what, I'm glad that 7 Seas has published this. Next up here is the I Dead and Deities No Only Peace Volume 2 by the same creator as Miss Kobayashi's Dragon Maid. I did a Volume 1 review of this series. I highly recommend you check it out, but I really did enjoy Volume 1. It's just really unique. It seems super shallow, but there's lots of layers to it. You've got these gods who are protecting the peace on Earth, and there's some devils trying to take over the world. So it seems super simple, but don't let that fool you. It's actually really good. Okay, here we are with Cat Plus Gamer Volume 2. You've got a cat, you've got a girl who loves the game. It's their unsuspecting friendship. Woohoo! Yeah, Cat Plus Gamer, it's good. I'm really enjoying it. This is from Dark Horse, surprisingly, so it's one of the few Dark Horse manga I have in my collection. Okay, continuing on. Man, look, I'll let you know now, I've been recording probably for like an hour and a half at this point. I'm just so tired, so just cherish that I edited this thing down. Next up is Blood on the Tracks Volume 10. This is my favorite Shuzo Oshimi work. I love this. I think it's better than Flowers of Evil. I think it's better than Welcome Back Alice. I haven't read Happiness or Inside Mari, but those are below Flowers of Evil in terms of just general public popularity, so I don't think that those are going to beat this. Funny story with this one. So I also got Volume 9 from Rightstuf, but the box exploded, so it was like severely damaged, so I actually had to send it back. Definitely follow me on Instagram if you ever want to see those hijinks. I always post them on my story, but eventually Rightstuf will send me Volume 9, and then I can read the 2 volumes back to back. Speaking of Shuzo Oshimi, let's go on to Welcome Back Alice Volumes 2 and 3. This is basically a really weird love triangle series with a boy who has transitioned into a girl going into high school, but then he has friendships with both a girl and a guy who like each other. So yeah, this is just, of course, Shuzo Oshimi, very sexual. There is a big car. Look, in the South, you've got these cars with the big mufflers on them, and it's just all the time. Like, it's awful. Who are you trying to impress? Me? I don't give a shit. But of course, with Shizo Oshimi, it's super sexual. It's really weird, really interesting dynamics between the characters. So yeah, let's see how these two volumes go. Next up here is a super underrated series. We have My Dear Friend Nokatan, Volume 2. This is, if you like Nichijou, you like slapstick humor, you just like stupid dumb stuff, this is going to be the series for you. It's got a super low rating, but don't let that deter you. I love this series. Volume 1, I just could not stop laughing. It also gave me very much Yotsuba vibes, as well as Azumanga Daioh. So if you like any of those series, check this one out. Here we have a new series from Yen Press. This is Shadow's House, and there is an anime adaptation that got really high acclaim, and I saw that the manga was being released, source material. I was like, I'm going to pick this one up. Don't know anything about it. It's a slice of life series about these people here who are shadows, and then these people here who act as living puppets for the shadows. So seems really unique. The cover is beautiful and this awesome matte finish. So yeah, really excited that Yen Press has decided to publish this. Here we are with some books from Books A Million. Actually, we have Frieren Beyond Journey's End Volume 5. I love Frieren. It's a great slice of life series with some really fun fantasy elements, a little bit of a different take on a journey per se, because it's the journey after the journey. So yeah, highly recommend this. It's one of my favorite ongoing Shonen Sunday series. Next up here is The Apothecary Diaries Volume 5. This is a series I would never have picked up if it wasn't for MangaTube. Think Sherlock Holmes, but then replace the MC with this girl who is from the Pleasure District, and then she gets thrown into the Chinese Imperial Court. She solves mysteries. She's super into poison. It's really cool. I love the artwork. This is honestly one of my favorite ongoing series right now, and it made me really put Square Enix on my radar as a manga publisher. Here we are with my #1 most anticipated release of 2022, and that is World End Salty. Highly recommend you check out this Should You Read Sunday First Impressions video that I did. This is by the same mangaka who did Loose from the Biscuit Hammer and Spirit Circle and Planet With, my favorite mangaka of all time. Highly recommend you check out this series. This was a great volume. Next up are 2 volumes of Toilet Bound Hanako-kun, volumes 14 and 15. I just love what this series does. It's just so unique. So if you want something different, you like Japanese folklore, you like ghosts and mystery, this is going to be the series for you. And like I said, the artwork is absolutely beautiful. It's really one of my favorite manga in my collection. Continuing on the 2-volume trend, like I said, I got a bunch of pre-orders and they shipped them all at once. A lot of these series had compiled 2 volumes of pre-orders by the time I got it. Fire Force volumes 27 and 28 were almost done. I think it ends at 31 or 32 volumes, but we're in the final arc, and this is a great shonen series. I think the premise is super interesting with the firefighters, and you've got all these weird supernatural things happening in this world. So yeah, highly recommend Fire Force. Next up is a rom-com series here, Don't Toy With Me, Miss Nagatoro volume 11. I really like the direction this rom-com series is taking, especially in the last 3 volumes. It's just super wholesome, and it just didn't get that vibe at the beginning, which I get, because I mean the whole premise is that you've got this girl who's bullying the senpai. I mean that's just the whole vibe, but it's just they've balanced it out now, which is really nice. Here we are with Whisper Me a Love Song volume 5, a Yuri music series with an older girl who's in a rock band, and then the younger girl and who's a freshman who is in the cooking club. Check out my first impressions on this series for the Should You Read Sunday. This is a great series. I'm really enjoying this, so I'm just glad that we're still getting this. Next up is Prison School volume 2. I'm very just slowly picking these up. I'm basically just using these as order fillers for the free shipping, but I really did enjoy the first omnibus for Prison School. Not my favorite thing in the world, might be a little too ecchi for me to be honest with you, but it is really funny, so I decided to give this next volume a try. Alright, here we are with a big one here, a big reprint that's happening from Yen Press, and that is Emma Omnibus 1. So They reprinted Omnibus 2. We now have the elusive Omnibus 1, which was very, very pricey. And now we're waiting for Omnibus 4, which should hopefully be reprinted in the next couple months. Volume 4 was the most expensive volume right in front of this one, but then we're going to have the complete series. I picked all of these up from Rightstuf at discounted prices. I mean, my goodness, instead of spending like $350, $400 on the set, I only spent like $130, which is just crazy. Beautiful hardcover releases by Yen Press, same mangaka who did Bride's Story, but this is a really cool Victorian era series, so highly recommend you get on this. This is a FOMO you're not going to want to miss because this is really highly acclaimed. Here we are with a new Yen Press series, Run on Your New Legs Volume 2. It's a sports series about a paraplegic, lost his leg, now he's trying to rekindle his athleticism. He can't play soccer anymore, but he wants to run. So this is a really cool series. I like the vibes that they give off and the information that they give on the disabilities and sports in general, and also just artificial legs. Really, really cool. Highly recommend this one. It's only 5 volumes long, not a big investment. And last up here from Yen Press is Heterogenea Linguistico. So this is volumes 1 to 3, and then this is basically about a man and this little girl who go around to different dungeons and things like that and just study the language of the different animals and characters in these different colonies. Seems super interesting, slice of lifey with really cool information, and the artwork is super cute. So I am excited to check this one out. This was on the Rightstuf summer sale, and honestly, this is probably the most interesting thing that was put out by Yen Press because the rest of their sale was terrible. All right, we're almost done. We only have one more stack. We have Sensei's Pious Lie, Omnibuses 2 and 3. We only have one more. This is like seeing a really, really bad accident on the freeway, and you just can't look away. You just have to keep going. But there's just like really bad stuff happening and you're just like, oh my god, like this is awful, but like you rubberneck anyway. This might be in contention for top 10 manga reads of 2022, even though I don't necessarily like the direction of the characters. It's a manga that makes me feel something, and when a manga can make me feel something, I'm gonna read it. Next up here is we have one of the nicest releases ever in manga, in my personal opinion, and that is The Girl from the Other Side Deluxe Edition. So we're gonna get 4 of these, and I sold off my singles because I was like, I don't care about that. I've got the singles. I'm not gonna just have to lose a little bit of money to pick these up. But then I saw it on the shelf, and I saw the beautiful gold lacing and the really, really nice artwork and the beautiful, beautiful hardcover with the beautiful spine and just the way they release this thing. And I was like, that's it. I'm selling my singles. I just don't care. I have to get this really, really nice deluxe edition. It's worth the price tag. It's like $43 retail. Obviously you can get it way discounted, but this is just, oh, 7 Seas, you nailed it. Next up is a rom-com series nobody is talking about and nobody is picking up, and I just need people to pick this up. This is the last omnibus, so Omnibus 3 of Ciguatera. This is like a really toned down Shuzo Ishimi vibe rom-com about a boy who likes motorcycles, but he's kind of like a loser, and then this girl who's like super pretty like asks him out and they start dating, and it's just really, really funny. The artwork is hilarious. It's an older rom-com actually. I think this was serialized in the early 2000s, and Kodansha is releasing them in these really nice omnibuses with the French flaps and everything. So I highly recommend this series. I really enjoyed the first 2 omnibuses, and this is gonna be shaping up to be something really special. All right, 3 more volumes, Shonen Jump stuff. So we have Kaguya-sama Love is War 23. We're in the final arc. I love the direction of volume 22. We got rid of all the messy stuff that I just really didn't like about the series, and now we're back to keeping it simple and keeping it with the main characters, which I like. Last but not least, we have 2 ongoing new Shonen Jump series. We have Kaiju number 8 volume 3 as well as Sakamoto Days volume 3. Both these series I enjoy. They're not blowing my mind or anything like that, but I am still enjoying to pick up these physicals. They make me laugh, they keep me entertained, so this is just definitely a turn your brain off Shonen Jump mangas. Okay, we're done. We're done. I don't want to buy any more manga. Look, if you've made it to this point in the video, seriously, leave me a comment down below saying you made it all the way to the end, because I will give you like a shout out in the next video, because that's just crazy that you even stayed this long. I appreciate you that you enjoy the content. As always, if you enjoy the content of my videos, please hit that like button, tap that subscribe button, hit that notification bell so you know when more of my videos come out, and I will see you in the next one. Take care now. Bye-bye.